let's talk about this transition because there was a day, and I remember it, when ESPN, where I was working at the time, placed a big bet. And I wouldn't say an early bet, but it was a big bet because it was major media saying we have to lean into social media. And at that time, it was Twitter. Like everyone get on Twitter. And everyone go on Twitter and just try to get you a fan base and get people to watch the shows and, give them little behind the scenes peeks at your life and content. And obviously Skip Bayless ran with that. Like Skip Bayless literally would tweet out his show and then go on air and do the show. And people were watching it, right? So it worked. But they didn't bet on the independent space in terms of content creation at that time. I think that caught them by surprise. I think major media was caught by surprise how many people would just be at home, like me, now. But then, like 2013, those early adopters, or whatever, it's a Joe Rogan, 2017, a Pat McAfee, whatever it may be, those guys, they didn't think that they would go home and actually not only create content, but gain such massive audiences, greater than the ratings suggest. Let's be real. The ratings is tough. Nielsen is still dragging their feet, and I don't think they're doing it intentionally, but it's kind of hard to curate all this. You got to imagine there's a linear cable stream, right? There's a linear cable watcher, and that person sitting at home like, oh, man, I'm watching ESPN, cool, and they're getting that typical rating. And do you know for like per hour, the most that people watch is 15 minutes? Like per hour, the most. And that's like an extreme. Ratings, obviously, all across the board are suppressed and down because we just got more options, right? And it's probably less interesting to watch somebody up there who has a corporate brand behind them saying something that you're like, if you were with your boys, you said it a little different, right? And on the internet, you will find that person. He's going to say exactly how you're thinking it. So all across the board, ratings are down. And so then the bet was on Twitter. Then the bet was on Instagram and like make yourself more glam and make yourself more popular, right? But the bet wasn't on YouTube. And did y'all notice all of a sudden the same show and shows and personalities that were on their show, let's say First Take, all of a sudden, all the clips are on YouTube. And then all of a sudden, the actual hosts, the co-hosts, were also on YouTube. Now you need a podcast to go with your show. Look at FS1. What's right with Nick Wright, or what's wrong with Nick Wright, excuse me. And I love Nick Wright. That dude's a beast. What's wrong with Nick Wright, right? Skip Bayless show, Club Shay Shay, right? And that's the bet now. And they're hedging their bet because they are realizing, hey, everybody's not tuning in to these shows. The ratings at FS1, let's use those because I know those because I was there last. Average viewership for Undisputed, the biggest show, 150, 200,000 max. Woo! Club Shay Shay got 1 million plus subscribers himself. And those views, every time I look, is millions. Then you can't make the apples to apples comparison because you would really have to say what would happen if they put Undisputed exclusively on the internet versus Club Shay Shay, which is exclusively on the internet. But you get the point. Like, they're like, dog, people are tuning in to Club Shay Shay more than they tune into Undisputed. And remember, that's only for 15 minutes max. Guess who knows this? Advertisers, sponsors. And they're like, we used to bet on social media and the social media influencers. We want to move our product not only on commercials, but y'all fast forward through commercials through DVR and TiVo. And then that changed until let's just put bets on like these guys endorsing our product. To now they're like, no, let them have a podcast. Meet them where the people are, direct to consumer, and then we'll place ads in there, or we'll just sponsor the entire podcast. Y'all catching all this? It happens fast. Now, when it happens fast to you, you're like, what do I do? Where's my next step? Where's solid footing? For Stephen A to take these shots, you can see not only is he like, yo, I'm the biggest, baddest, I can take these shots, but also I got to plan my next move. And I think his next move is what he's doing. He's doing the podcast. And you're going to see more and more effort, more and more support, more and more lean into that podcast because that's where the people are. Let me take you through it all. The fears, the anxieties, not only from these, I guess you can call them the networks, but also from the actual talent. The networks are sitting there like, yo, we own these socials. And this is one thing I didn't like. This is one thing in my last deal that made me say, I have to move on. I knew that everything and everyone was going to digital, to going to streaming, online, internet, etc. You could tell because why you offering me to do a podcast when you offered me to just do a show 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, my contract was just do Speak for Yourself. And then I was like, I want to do radio because I love doing radio. I knew Max went to First Take, duh. But I was like, I could do my own radio or I could do it with somebody else. We want you just to be fresh for Speak for Yourself. So we're going to pay you handsomely just to do one show. All right. In those 4 years, that conversation switched because Club Shay Shay came out in 2020, I think. Skip just came out last year. Nick Wright came out last year. Tons of others. And then the next contract, it was like, Marcellus, you going to do a podcast? What? You just told me I couldn't do radio, and you never even mentioned a podcast just 4 years ago. Are you really looking out for me, or are you like, yo, this bottom line is shifting to other spaces, right? So I caught that, and I wasn't going to be played in that moment, and I don't think they were trying to play me, but they also weren't being explicit because they own those socials, right? You can get into a rev share deal, and they offered that, but they own the socials. And to the tune of all these guys that you're talking about, there's one that finally went back, and I can't say his name because I protect the guilty, but there was one who went back and fought for a percentage of the social media accounts, and he got a percentage. But they're sitting there like, yo, y'all ain't even catching this. All those clips, money to the network. Now, they pay you a big, handsome check so that you don't even think about those things, but you should think about those things because why? That's your independence. That is your money. That is something that you own. That's your IP. Like you're doing the show and you're putting out all the content and then they have all the ownership. And that's where the rub is. Let's talk about the security that comes from that big fat paycheck to just go up there, talk for a couple hours, and then go home and do it again tomorrow, rinse and repeat. That's what that gives you. Security, but you're an employee to the fullest. You don't own the socials. You don't own the show. If they want to wake up tomorrow like they are, NFL Network or ESPN Disney, and say, hey, we got layoffs, bye-bye. Peace. There's no layoffs for the YouTuber, right? There's no layoffs for the independent creator. If he don't want to work tomorrow, he doesn't work tomorrow. If he does, he does, right? And that's a big difference. So you got the security of the network job, and you have also the big check that comes with that security. Oh, just comfortable. I ain't got to worry about jack ratings, whatever. Y'all figure that out. I'm trying my damnness, and that's all I could do. But you don't have any, and I mean any ownership. Not a single soul has a percentage in ESPN. Not a single soul owns a percentage of FS1 or Fox. Stop playing. Over here, you can own it all. But what's 100% of nothing, right? And that's the risk of independence. If you don't pop, it doesn't work, right? You can have all the freedom in the world, all the independence in the world. But where's the revenue? Where's the security? And that's the rub. And that's why you're seeing all of this new media versus old media. You're seeing major mass media and networks versus independent creators. That's why you're seeing this Crip and Blood kind of like gang fight right now. And everybody trying to really stake their territory. They're trying to do it because things are changing. There's an evolution going on right now. Let me walk you through how this all started in my eyes. Stephen A is taking these hits unnecessarily because Stephen A just climbed to the top of the mountain. But how did that mountain get created? I was there like day one. Jamie Horowitz, look him up if you don't know who he is. Former ESPN executive and Fox. I think he was the president of Fox, FS1 for a minute there. And Jamie Horowitz, good friend. I really respected his work, especially day one, because he took me under his wing and creating shows like First Take, Sports Nation, etc. I think he created Undisputed too. I want to say yes. Point being, he was like the face of embrace debate. Basically, you guys need to get up there and we need to have some contrast. Y'all need to go at it. Let's bring the barbershop to life, whatever you want to call it. Embrace debate. And that took the industry and that took individuals on different roads because it popped. So in the industry, all of a sudden you got all these gremlins, right? Yo, they popping over there. How are they popping? Well, they're arguing. Oh, well, let's argue over here. But if it's not authentic or you don't have the proper personalities or the right chemistry, it's not going to pop. Two people arguing, what y'all arguing over after a certain point? You're like, and who is arguing? And then you just start to tune out. But it popped. I mean, it popped. And I wasn't a part of those shows. I would go on First Take. I would go on, but that wasn't my spirit. I'm not a debater. I'm a discusser. That's why y'all say, damn, this dude talks so much. Yeah, because I like to discuss stuff. I like to talk. I like to make you think, and then you chime in, and then we all get smarter, right? I'm not sitting here talking at you, talking to you. I ain't got all the answers, even though I act like it sometimes. But the industry went on that road. Let's embrace debate, not only with the show, but just industry-wide, right? And individuals started to figure out, like, yo, I got to really pop. Instead of saying, oh, he's a good player, I got to say, damn it, ain't nobody better. See the difference? He's a good player. No, he's a great player. Damn it, ain't nobody better. And that's where it all went. Hot sauce on everybody's burrito. So then they went those ways and they placed those bets and they realized that, okay, it's time to place different bets. The individuals and the entities. The entities right now are looking at everything and saying, we got to get to the people, direct to consumer. It's just as simple as that, y'all. I hate to say it. There's no other way to look at it. And the individuals are starting to come, myself included. I just frankly said, and I bring it to y'all raw, I bring it to y'all real. I was making 1.9 million at FS1. And my next deal, they were offering me like 1.1. It was probably going to be a little less haircut. Yeah. Because I was not going to do the same show. I couldn't do Speak anymore. Y'all know what Speak is now. It's a little ice skating, right? It's a little fluffier. They bet on Acho as they should. Acho is half my age. Looks half as good as me. Now, stop. Oh, that's my dog. He's half my age. I mean, he wants to do that, and he wants to do those type of shows. I wanted to do this, and I told him that from hello, and that's why we had to say goodbye. But also, the 1-1 was going to be like to join First Things First. So I had to, take some money away. I was like, whatever. But the bet was that show has 3 other people. So they were like, yeah, we can't pay you the same. I didn't go all the way through negotiations. I probably could have got that up a little more. But that was their initial offer, like 1-1. I was like, and I was like, yeah. And then I realized through just looking in my neighborhood, my conversations with people I know, independent creators I know, independent creating agencies, and I know people that represent people on the internet, and them people that represent them are rich. The people on the internet are wealthy. I'm like, dog, I got neighbors. Dog, I played a lot of football and been in the media for a long time. And there's YouTubers in my neighborhood. Like, dog, I'm like, you go by their house like at midnight and they live in these little content houses and stuff, and they're just lights on. And they just in there just plowing through stuff. And I'm like, dog, these little kids out here eating. But I'm not scared of them. You can't beat them, join them. In that kind of respect. But long story short, I saw 1.1 to whatever I was going to get him up to, 1.3, 1.5, and even 1.9. I was like, dog, the money, not worth staying here if that's the money, because I had felt that no matter how much I was going to make, I could make more here. That was the money conversation. Stephen A makes 12 million. Woo! Like, first of all, I ain't going to get to Stephen A level. Let's just be real. I'm not going to go there. Like, whatever it takes to go there. And there is a certain formula for that. You notice that the top 3 dogs, Skip, Stephen A, Colin, never played ball. So that means they have a different investment. They're invested into journalism. I'm invested into the athlete experience and into athletics and professional athletics. Some stuff I just don't do. Some stuff I won't say. Some stuff I won't go there. And they do. I mean, they go all the way there because they're not invested in it the same. Let's just be real. And that's the industry rewards that. That's what culture is. This culture of sports media rewards that and that. I couldn't do. So I was like, I ain't gonna make Stephen A money. And even if I do, you know how much McAfee making? Good Lord. So I take top dog to top dog. That's how I do it. Like apples to apples. Who's the top dog on this independent track? And who's the top dog on the major mass media track? Y'all know what it is. McAfee making 3-4 times as much as Stephen A. That's why the industry is going where McAfee is. That's why Stephen A is now where McAfee is. At least one foot there. And then the other foot in First Take. Damn, that's good. That's a balancing act. Now I should have balanced it out like that, but I went all in on this. So I just wanted to hip y'all to that. I wanted to hip y'all. Oh, you hear that, frog? I wanted to hip y'all to that because I think a lot of stuff right now is up in the air in terms of the blame, the labels, and who is in charge. And I think right now, people are making money and they're realizing why not have ownership with it as well, right? Money and power, not just money. And even Stephen A is coming to that realization, it seems like. But taking shots at the independent creators, Stephen A is above that and he should stay above that. I hope he does because you're just going to look weak. Like, that's like saying, oh, man, our music was better than y'all music. Like, dog, whatever you saying, old man, nobody give a damn. Like, is it selling? Do people like it? You got to get with the times. And you can see by all these moves that others are getting with the times.